Here we are, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Jesse Rosinski Show. Before we get started, I want to remind everybody that if watching, the videos, it's not a possibility for you. Don't forget, there's the audio that I do separately for Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Public Radio. And they're uploaded by roughly around 7 o'clock every morning. The whole library is there except for the first episode, which I'm going to have to redo because for some reason you all heard the first one on here and YouTube and all that, and everything was fine. But when I put it now, suddenly, when you go to play it anywhere, there's no sound, so I'm going to fix that. But the whole library is there. So if you want to just click play and let it just keep playing, get through them all, that's there for you. Now, that being said, today we're getting into Nick Sandmann. This goes back to January 2019, and we should all remember him. I mean, my liberal friends, friend, really, but I think there's a few of them, and they all, remember it, and I remember talking to one of them in particular, and, well, he was, oh, yeah, look at where his MAGA hat to, and all this, that, and the other thing, just following all the talking points. And, so is everyone else. And it's kind of disgusting and pathetic. You think about it. Okay. He was, outside the Lincoln Memorial with some fellow classmates from Covington Catholic High School. Again, outside the Lincoln Memorial, just waiting for the bus to get there so they could leave. Wearing his MAGA hat that he bought earlier that day. Should be no harm, no foul. But then suddenly, boom, a 3-minute, you could very easily see, doctored, edited, so you can't see the whole thing, video, shows Nathan Phillips and fellow Native American activists, protesters, whatever word you want to use for it. They're playing the drum in the kid's face, and it shows him standing there stone-faced, and the whole media made it out to be him harassing and trying to intimidate these Native Americans. And of course, it was because he had the MAGA hat on. If it wasn't the MAGA hat, probably wouldn't have gotten anywhere. But MAGA hat on, you see the 3-minute video of him just standing there. Like that, just while the dude's up in his face playing the drums. And then, the media, I'm sure they got the whole entire... They had to have gotten the whole thing. The mainstream media, they had to have gotten the whole entire video. At least they should have. He gets sent this clip. They all ran it. And made this kid out to be like this white supremacist scumbag overnight from a 3-minute clip. You're supposed to, check these things at sources and all this as actual journalists. But, no one did. I made it out to be this vile, racist, Trump-supporting, high school student up in this, Native American man's, named Nathan Phillips' face. Being intimidating, just being, a pile of garbage. And, which is disgusting in and of itself because, high school students, why, with everything going on, why wouldn't the mainstream media go and actually, search it? And make sure that it's not that it is what everyone makes it out to be, which they never do. Because you notice, through all the videos we've seen throughout all these years, it's amazing how bad it looks with the little clip, but then when you watch the whole entire thing, how much more comes to light through it all. It is mesmerizing how good that works. But, yeah. Anyway, soon, a little bit after, not as fast as it should have been, because the video was there, but afterwards, it becomes very clear when the whole video comes out that they were just standing there, and Phillips and the rest of his group of people went over to him and probably targeted him out again because of the MAGA hat. And got up in his face and were playing the drums and actually intimidating and there were people throwing racial slurs at these high school students. They got racial slurs thrown on from a group of black Hebrew Israelites. And, look at all this stuff that, Mr. Phillips got. Well, he was on like all these liberal media shows, talking about how he had PTSD from the war and all this stuff, and he was all frightened, and they got all up in his Kool-Aid, and they were in his face, and yada yada yada, and they ran with it for forever. And then the whole video comes out, and again, like I said, it shows that they actually, Mr. Phillips and them, their drum actually went up and got in the kid's face in his MAGA hat, which is why they only showed the 3-minute clip and not the whole entire video, because that would have made them look like terrible, scummy people that they are. And they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing this for forever. And again, liberal media, celebrities, all these people jumped right on the bandwagon without actually having all the information, because that's what they do, because they're all uneducated. Just lepers that just hear something, run with it, and then the second it gets found to be not true, they don't even mention it anymore. But they just move on to the next thing, and then they write down in on their website an article that, they update it, and you never hear about them updating it and clearing anything so the world knows. So everyone just hears this blah, blah, blah. I'm just racist, lying, dishonest vitriol and sputum, and they never correct anything. They just move on. And same thing happened with this story, which is a ridiculous story in the first place. But now we get into some numbers. Sandmann, maybe the high school student, mentioned on CNN's website in 30 separate articles. When this came out. Now, if you look at now, 30 of them. Washington Post mentioned him 52 times, which, shocker, Washington Post. They've got to be pretty close to the most worthless anything on the planet. New York Times mentioned 11 times. And since the event, Covington Catholic High School is referenced 92 times by the Washington Post and 169 times by the New York Times. Do the math. That's a lot of times on a story that they ran. That's just the stuff that wasn't proven. Then they have their one little edit at the end after they moved on that they know no one's going to look, that they didn't put into their news feeds anymore for people to see. That, this is how it actually was. Now we had it, idiots, unlike SNL, which I haven't watched it forever because it's not funny. They're not even trying to be funny anymore. You find that funny, there's something wrong with your sense of humor. Go back and watch the old episodes. That was funny. That was actually hilarious. This stuff that they had for a long time is just garbage. Weren't even trying. But again, SNL comedians saying, I will blow whoever manages to punch that MAGA kid in the face. So, sexual, offerings for punching a minor in the face. Good. Alyssa Milano, who we all used to love, till she's lost her absolute mind. She's crazier than I am. And Chuck, way crazier than Chuck. That the red MAGA hat is the new white hood, in reference to people wearing a Ku Klux Klan. Now we're all a Ku Klux Klan if you support Trump and you have one of those red MAGA hats. Because, why not just throw more propaganda and BS out there that isn't true, but people are just dumb enough to believe it because, people are stupid and don't actually know how to critical think anymore. And then Reza Aslan saying that Sandmann had a punchable face. Again, high school student that they're talking about. That's okay to say that about them. It's okay to say it about anybody that supports Donald Trump. If you've noticed, remember, hell, we still have members of the squad and in the House Senate saying that we're all racist, white supremacist scumbags. So hell, what do I know? But they can say whatever they want, and then the second you say anything against them, you're just saying it because you're a racist pile of garbage. Remember, they've been doing this since Obama. Not the fact that he just went and, spent all of our debt, more, debt in 1 year than all the presidents combined, because he just tried to spend us out of trouble, which then gave us the slowest recovery ever. Now that's why our debt gets just catastrophic, and now Joe Biden's trying to do the same thing, but that's another story. But after all that, it's amazing. Nick Sandmann is winning lawsuits and has won some. I know CNN fell. He got money from them. I believe MSNBC is on the list. They're all on there for slander, defamation, all stuff, because it was false and they ran with that before they even did their job of looking at it, because they're investigative journalists. They're supposed to actually investigate stuff before they spew it all over the TV like people used to. When we actually had real journalists and real journalism, people that actually gave a damn, which sadly, that is apparently all but dead. All but, because there's still a few out there that don't suck. But he's winning all of them, which is amazing. And now, to the point of it all, I only bring this up because of something that also happened in D.C. in this past month. Mohammad Anwar, 66-year-old Uber Eats driver, was killed in D.C. here very recently after being thrown from his vehicle by two teenage girls aged 13 and 15. Like, that doesn't tell you there's a problem going on right now as it is. And they tased the man, threw him out of his car, used a stun gun, and drove off in his car, which they later ended up wrecking, and they just left him there for dead. Like a 13 and a 15-year-old girl. Guess what? They weren't white. And obviously he wasn't white. CNN search results, 1 with his name in it. Washington Post, 1. New York Times, not even mentioning it. It's amazing because, they mentioned all the Sandman stuff. I mean, right off the bat without actually looking at anything, which all turned out to be a crock, by the way. Sandman, 30 articles. CNN, Washington Post, 52. New York Times, 11. And his high school, 92 times by the Washington Post and 169 times by the New York Times. This poor man got murdered by two teenage girls who went out for a joyride, got him with a stun gun, ended up dying from it, stole his car, and he got mentioned a whopping twice across those 3 sources. When it actually really did happen, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's on video. They stun gunned him, threw him out of his car, he died, they drove off it and then wrecked it. It's a real damn thing. Not one of those, we're just going to run with it. Why? Because it comes across as white supremacy, and then when it isn't, we'll just move on. This is a real damn thing, and they've mentioned it a whopping twice combined. It's amazing, isn't it? It's glorious. He gets mentioned in his high school, 30, 50, let's see, 82, 93... 93 plus 92 is 185. Over 300 times. Just in those 3 things. He got mentioned over 300 times in his high school. And this man only got mentioned twice since being murdered. And it's amazing 2 minorities doing it to another minority. Using a stun gun, which proves my point that I've said before, that doesn't matter if they're using a gun or whatnot, but they will kill you with whatever the hell they can. Because crazy and stupid is crazy and stupid. And when you stop really doing, you lose all moral compass and stop disciplining and, look what everything's turned into. Yeah, don't worry, it's all a gun problem. Which is why, again, this couldn't come up. Minority out killing another minority crime with a stun gun. It wasn't a gun, so you don't get to hear it at all. I already went over the damn numbers. I'm not doing it again. Crazy people are going to do crazy things. And notice, what I went over the other day, we had the Atlanta thing. Brought it up. Why? White supremacy. That's all they talked about. Used a pistol. The one where the Syrian man, who's lived here for forever, but he's still Syrian, shoots up, kills 10 people in a grocery store. Boom. Right to the, guns. Had nothing to do with racism or anything. Went straight to guns. Because he used an assault-style weapon. Or a weapon of war. Boom, right to it. They didn't mention any of those ones that I talked about in Chicago that happened right before it, where more than double the amount of people got taken out in one weekend. Which is normal in Chicago, but it's fine. They don't mention any of that. They just go to the ones that fit, that's all gang violence normally, They just go, they pick and choose, and all those people that keep listening to it and keep spewing it along and just running over the narrative and don't actually use the thing in between their ears and actually think and look at everything and go, yeah, maybe they are. Just bringing this up because, it fits their agenda. Again, white supremacy and then ARs. One mass shooting. Never mind, the sex addict, the drug addict, his family kicked him out of the house. All that stuff, no. That was racism immediately. Without any investigation. And then the other one, don't care who did it, why it happened, even if there's any racism involved at all, or anyone wrong in the head, even though the guy who's known for the FBI. No, let's not, think about that. No, it's just all about guns and how we need to get rid of them now. Now they're talking about doing executive orders, because again, and they don't mention any of the mass shootings that happen in our inner cities and major cities all the time, because it doesn't fit their agenda. We have a crime problem. And what are they doing? Taking away, immunity from cops and cashless bail, getting rid of all the illegal gun, units and stuff in New York City, like getting rid of all this stuff. Wonder why the shootings are going up. We have a criminal problem, and we're making it easier on them. But yeah, that was moral today. Use your brain. This story right here doesn't give it away. I don't know what will give it away to any of you. If you have anything between your damn ears, it'll be man, it does make some sense. What do you know? The crazy guy might be onto something. Yes, the crazy guy might be onto something. The crazy guy is onto something. And the crazy guy is tired of having to repeat himself and no one actually using their heads. Because how long did we get used? No one has enough information. And now, most people have the internet. And look, everyone's, it's all misinformation and everything. And everyone's just doing whatever they want to feed their own thing. And that's how we're getting, mass propaganda machines in the world where we're in. But, it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. But look at the story. It's amazing. He got run up the flagpole for something he didn't do. And then, you don't literally... 2 mentions for that guy? 2. It's disgusting. Hell, Trump is still getting more coverage than that. And he's been out of office for over 2 months. Still getting more coverage than this story did in the mainstream media. With that being said, again... If you'd rather listen to catch up to them all, Spotify. I'm on Spotify and Anchor. You can listen Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Public Radio. I'm on there. But Spotify's on there. Catch up to all of them except for the first episode. Because it isn't on there, though, suddenly, even though I upload the first episode on, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble, and it played at the beginning. Now people say they go back and watch it, and it's not making sound anymore, so... I might go back and re-record it, or I might just get rid of it and keep it as a gem for myself. Never know. See how that one works out. But otherwise, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, if you could follow every page, it helps. More people follow and like it. The higher on the list I am for searches and stuff, the easier it is to see me. Which helps everyone. It doesn't just help me, sponsor-wise and all that. It helps everyone because it gets, if you agree with what I'm saying and you think it's good, it gets more eyeballs and ears on everything for everybody. So I appreciate all that. Again, like, share, comment, follow. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you want me to talk about. Tell me if you want to come on and talk about something. I'll sit down and talk to anybody about anything. Unless you're Juan Williams. That wouldn't be a talk. He'd say something stupid. I'd start yelling. He'd be yelling to defend himself, and it would look like a bunch of segments on the 5 where he just keeps going and everyone's telling him to shut up and, or let me finish and everyone just goes. So it'll be like that. But anyone else, I'm pretty sure I could have a conversation with. So, anyways, if you watched it today, any day, any time you take any time out, I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to each other. And until next time, my friends, peace.